Greetings, siblings in Christ. How are you today? My message today, I want to take a little time to address some concerns that were expressed to me about our convention worship. Several people expressed concerns for my health because I took my mask off to preach my sermon. Others have expressed that they weren't able to understand what the preface to my sermon was because I was wearing a mask. And so I wanted to take an opportunity today to talk a little bit about that. My preface to my sermon was essentially this: that there were 4 of us in a space that seated 500, that there was outside air available, that the others in the room were more than 6 feet of distance away from me. One was 10 feet, one was about 8 feet, and one was even further away. They were all wearing their masks. But in our conversation together, as I expressed concerns about people being able to understand me, and quite possibly the need for people to see all of me, they all said it was an acceptable risk for them, that the risk was small enough that they thought it was appropriate for me to take my mask off to preach. Because the truth of the matter is, I was placing them more at risk than they were placing me. I mention that to you because for the next 10, maybe 12 months, we are all going to be doing that calculus, calculating the variables, how many people are in the room, how much fresh air is in the room, what risk factors do the people have in the room, how long are you in the room together. We decided that for the 18 minutes it took me to preach my sermon, the risk was minimal. And we're going to be doing those calculations all the time. You are probably doing those calculations even now, consciously or unconsciously, when you're deciding about whether or not you're going to send your kids to in-person school, when you're thinking about whether you feel safe eating out at a restaurant, whether you're considering returning to the grocery store. We are all having to do that calculus together. And I assure you, I understand my risk factors. I look out for those who are more at risk than I am. And that all that I do is to help us as a church live fully into our calling to love God and love one another. Later, you will be receiving notice from me about how I am scheduling visitations, holding all of those variables in mind, how I am thinking about and approaching us joining our ministry together, knowing that that calculus is complicated, knowing that my chief concern is that the people of the Episcopal Church of Colorado are loved and cared for and kept safe. I offer that to you as you do your own calculations. Know that we walk together. Know that it's all grace. And know that I will do my level best to be the best example that I can be.